coming into Courtside. I'm your host, Courtney Webb, and this is a series about QVC entrepreneurs. Now, we have a new entrepreneur with the QVC family, Miss Rebecca Minkoff. Welcome in.
I am so excited to be with you today. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, we're excited to have you. So you are launching your handbags on QVC.com. How in the world did you just kind of plow through here? Welcome on into the family.
I am so pumped to be a part of the QVC family. You know, I think that when we talk about innovation, you guys have been ahead of the curve for 30 plus years. And I'm just honored to be able to bring live shopping to my audience and to be a part of it.
Oh, well, thank you so much. So we're going to take us back a little bit further. Do you remember the first time you ever designed anything? And when you look back now, think, you know what, I think I was onto something. And that's where I knew I wanted to be a designer.
So the first time I ever designed anything, I'd been loving sewing, designing since I was 8. And I had a bat mitzvah and I was like, I'm going to make my bat mitzvah dress and I'm going to make it from scratch and I'm going to design it. And so I was really proud that day as I stood up there in front of the congregation with something I had, made from nothing. And there's a power in that, in creating something that you've just imagined. And it was a really phenomenal moment.
So your company has been around for 15 years now. Is that about right?
Yep.
So you were founded with your brother. You guys launched the company. Take us back and tell us a little bit more. So you're a luxury handbag company that's now expanded into multiple categories, but tell us where it all began.
So it all began in 2001 when I'd come back from the Bahamas, part of this artist sort of conference. Yeah. And I loved how in the Bahamas, they cut up their t-shirts, they bedazzled them, they had beads on them. And I came back and I was like, I don't really want to say, walk around with a shirt that says Aruba. I really want to represent my city, which is New York. So I made an I Love New York shirt. I cut it up. I tied it in knots and made it really fashionable. And an actress wore it on Jay Leno shortly after 9/11. And it catapulted me into, making shirts, in my apartment for 9 months. But being able to give back to charity, and it got my name out there. So for 4 years, I had a very small but sweet clothing line. And then the same actress came back to me and she said, would you ever design a bag? And I was like, of course. I lied. I had no idea what I was doing, but I knew that I could figure it out. And that was the beginning of the handbags. This amazing website wrote about it pre-social media. Mm-hmm. And the inbound excitement for an affordable bag that was luxury, that was made by a woman. It was just this overwhelming sensation. And I said, you know what, I'm going to hitch my wagon to this star and see where this takes me. So that was in 2005. And we've expanded into a full lifestyle brand with clothing, jewelry, shoes, eyewear, watches, and we're not done yet.
Oh, that's phenomenal. So you brought us your handbags to start. That's where we're starting here at QVC. Tell me a little bit about the collection that you brought us here.
So I really wanted to ensure that with any new audience, I bring you my best and I bring you my classics. I never want someone to feel like they bought into a fleeting item that is trend in, trend out. So what you're getting with the bags is our best sellers. They happen to be my top picks. Okay. And I really want to make sure that as a woman, you are working hard, you have a certain amount of dollars to spend, and you want to be able to get a lot of mileage out of your product. So the quality is impeccable. It's right up there with luxury handbags. And it's something that will stand the test of time, not only from a make perspective, but also from just the look and feel. So you won't feel dated. You won't feel like 3 months from now, the trend is over.
Oh, good. Because, I personally, once I get a handbag, I have it for like years and years and years. Yeah. So the fact that we're getting pieces that you say kind of stand the test of time, that's fantastic. Now, when we talk about, I'm hearing a lot of you saying, female founders, female entrepreneurs, females made this. Tell me a little bit about how female empowerment and being a female founder impacts you and your business.
I think for me, a few years ago, I kept getting asked what it was like to be a female founder. And that seemed odd because I thought if people think this is special or novel or unique, clearly there are not enough of us, right? So how do we highlight and expose and celebrate more women and their businesses? So I launched a collective. It's called the Female Founder Collective, with the sole goal of a community of women, education and access to capital resources, and an easily identifiable seal that you can know you're supporting a woman just by purchasing. So it was really trying to hit it from all areas. And I want us just to become normal, not polar bears.
That's true. And the fact that we are in a stage right now, we're really embracing women, their creative ideas, kind of being a little bit more bold is the new normal. And when I hear someone like you tell me that that is empowering to you, tell me what about being an entrepreneur kind of triggered your mind to saying, this is where I want to go. Have you always wanted to be an entrepreneur, or was that something that you kind of fell into? How would you say you came about it?
I would say that my entrepreneurial roots have been around since I was little. You know, my mom used to sell as part of her side gig wares at the flea market. And then I said, well, I want to set up a table next to you. And so I would spend the whole week making jewelry. This was when I was about 6 and 7, making jewelry, making paintings, making T-shirts. And I set up a table next to her. And no one bought anything, but it was so exciting to, you know, go into that and to just get into the business. And then, you know, cut to, you know, when I was in my teens, making clothing and selling it to people in my high school, and then continuing that. So I think it's probably been part of me since before, you know, I could realize it. But I love the idea that, you know, I live and die by my brother and myself's company and our daily work that we do. And so for me, you know, it's not easy, but I've chosen to celebrate it and find the joy in it.
Well, and, you know, something that I've been hearing a lot from a lot of entrepreneurs on this series is that work doesn't scare them. Effort, you know, produces a lot of success. It can also produce a lot of opportunity. And so looking at it from that way, I think kind of pivots the way that you handle your business. So I think that you're definitely showing that. Now, you mentioned your brother as a co-founder with you. Yeah. So you have a family business. I mean, would you consider it a family business?
We truly have a family business. You know, when I originally launched and I needed the first $2,000 to make the first production run, I called my dad and I was like, I think I finally found a little bit of success. The store wants my bags. And he's like, nope, I'm not loaning you any money, but call your brother, he might. It was not a shocker to me. We've always been raised with, if you want something, you have to work for it. Yeah. And so I called my brother and he said, all right, I'll advance you the 2,000 and then, you know, we'll see where this goes. So he quickly saw that the orders were outpacing his ability to loan the money. And he said, okay, I'm going to formally join this and we're going to turn this into a real business.
Wow. I mean, where do you fall? Is he older? Are you older? Which one?
He's older, but I get asked if I'm older, which is really frustrating.
Well, I mean, the fact that you're able to work together, would you say that there are character traits that maybe each of you have that creates a successful co-founder relationship?
Yeah, I mean, I would say we were raised with the same values. We were raised with the same mom who had a ledger in the kitchen that said, you know, if you want something, you have to earn it, and I'll take a record of how much, you know, you've earned. Mm-hmm. And I think through the years, we've both really gotten good at knowing our own, you know, skill sets, but then really learning each other's skill sets so that we can speak each other's language and just help each other when it gets tough, because being an entrepreneur is not always an easy activity.
No. And having family, I mean, those are the people that are going to stand by you till the end, right? I mean, no matter what, good, bad, or ugly, I think. So yes. When you brought us our handbags, I know that you said you did a lot of philanthropic work. Obviously, your first T-shirt kind of had some philanthropic background. Tell me a little bit about how your line, how you contribute and give back, and what that means to you.
I think that above all, giving back when you can is something we all have to do. And I can't sit here and just sell a product without knowing that I'm helping impact someone else's life. So really, with each collection, we find a way to give back, whether, you know, the first collection, it was the Red Cross, the amount of charities, whether it's baby to baby, or right now we're partnering with Help Mask a Hero to provide personal protective equipment to those on the front lines. I think it got even more exaggerated when I became a mother and I said, I want my kids to live in a better world. So how can I build in philanthropy and charitable giving to everything that we do?
So as being a mom and being an entrepreneur and also being someone who is just very passionate about doing a lot, it seems like you wear a lot of hats. Tell me a little bit about how you navigate that space, what success on one day might look like for you, and how you kind of manage and do all of that.
So I want to start with the term balance, right? It's been thrown at women a lot, and then we don't achieve balance and we feel like failures. So balance is not a word I believe in, nor should it have ever been put into the zeitgeist for women. Men have never had balance, right? So yeah. I think that, as a mother, I think you each, as a mother and entrepreneur, we all have to explore what our own personal boundaries are. And that changes when you have one kid or two or three or more. So I spend time challenging my own perception of my boundaries. What's working too much? What's working too little? Well, I'll say there's never working too little, but where do I put the guardrails down and say, okay, no, I'm going to be home and I'm going to make sure that I'm there at night for my kids, or I'm going to travel only X%. And you can't look at other women. You can't look at what other people are doing on social media. You really have to discover it for yourself.
Yeah.
To really just figure out like what works for you. And everything is different for every woman. So be true to yourself, be true to what your family needs. And be honest with your partner, if you have one, about how, it's 100% and 100%. In my household, we both are the active parent.
Oh, I really like that. Both of you are 100%. There's no 50-50. Each of you are bringing your best self forward and doing what you can. I think that's the other thing, is being open that each day your boundaries are going to be different. Your challenges are going to be different. And the kids' challenges are going to be different, along with the business's challenges. So I think that's really going to speak volumes to anyone out there who's either juggling a lot right now or maybe is wanting to start something new. So I appreciate you for saying that. Now, say that?
Oh, no, I said, yeah, I agree. I totally agree.
Okay. You mentioned the word no earlier. Is there a no in your life that maybe you remember thinking back, like that actually made me step up? It made me look at things differently? Or there was someone in your life who said like, no, that's not going to work, or no, that's not doable. And you just said, well, let me change what you think and show up in a different way.
I mean, we are told no every day. It doesn't matter, the scenario. There's a no in our lives, and welcome to the life of being an entrepreneur. Yeah. I think when we were just starting out, we were told no, like you can never be part of a department store, or you'll never be able to figure out an affordable way to sell your bags, or you'll never have a customer who'll want a luxury quality made bag at an accessible price point. And we just said, no, we don't agree with you. You're saying no to us, and we're going to keep at this, and we're going to find our customer. We're going to get into these stores, and we're going to keep persisting. And I think, it's a long road, the entrepreneurial journey, but you have to be prepared for that word, and then to figure out what you're going to do to, circumvent it and overcome it.
For sure. What would you tell someone right now who maybe they're just experiencing a little bit of there's a lot going on, they're met with different challenges? How would you advise them, or what would you tell them to kind of be self-motivated, or how they can self-start at this time?
I think it's a couple things. In all areas, with the exception of your personal body and space, no is just the beginning of yes. Mm-hmm. I firmly believe that you can always turn a no into a yes. Maybe you have to change your pitch or tweak your marketing or your sales approach, but you can turn something into a yes. The other thing to visualize is, those dolls that are kind of built on half circles that, when you push them down, they bounce back up.
Yep.
You got to get good at that, and you got to develop that muscle. And it is a muscle of you fail, you get back up. You fail, you get back up. And to just know that that's part of this. If it was all easy, you'd be bored out of your mind. So accept the challenge and take that challenge and figure out how you can grow from it.
Well, and I mean, progress is how you're going to figure that out, right? You have to take that step. You got to get knocked down to know that you can even get back up. So I think that's definitely a good point for sure. So you mentioned about not taking any shortcuts when it comes to your bags. So these are luxury crafted handbags that you brought us here to QVC. Tell me a little bit about some of the details that we're going to see that you said, you know what, I want my customer to have this and I want it to be at an affordable price.
So I want to say that, every single one of our bags is handmade with love and care. Mm-hmm. And there are details that I really thought through in bringing these bags to QVC. We're all busy. We all need our bags to have multiple personalities. The straps need to be adjustable. They need to come off in some cases. Mm-hmm. Or with our Julian backpack, you want extra security. There's a way to lift the hook back up. And so I know how busy people are, and they need their bags to be part of these milestone moments in their lives and their daily lives. And so whether it's the interior pockets or the sturdiness of our lining or the leather that will stand the test of time, and I like to say age like a fine wine. I really want to make sure that when you invest in Rebecca Minkoff, you're getting something that 5, 10, 20 years later, that bag is there and you're like, hey, that bag stuck with me.
It did, and it held up, right? Even if I look a little shabby, the bag held up.
Even if I look like Magda, from the movie, my bag looks really, really good.
That's all that matters. As long as something is coming up at 100%, and if it happens to be my handbag, by all means. Yeah. Oh my goodness. So what else about Rebecca Minkoff? So you obviously are in a ton of categories. We're just getting handbags, but tell me a little bit about the history of the line, the mission behind the line, and kind of more if I've never heard of the brand.
So, when I launched, it was a time when you were defined by the plaque on your bag and how much money you had spent on it.
That's true.
And as a young entrepreneur, I didn't have any money. Like if I could pay rent, that was incredible.
Right.
And I wanted to design a bag that you could eat and you could pay rent and you could have a fabulous handbag. And it wasn't about compromising design for a plaque. It was really all about, is this woman going to get noticed for her style? Is she going to get noticed for, how great she looks? And the bag helped that. But the bag wasn't the thing that just everyone sort of looked at. And so I've built that into the DNA of the brand. It's really about celebrating the woman. It's really about celebrating her milestones and the important things she's doing when she acquires a Rebecca Minkoff handbag. And it's way less about my name or a plaque or a piece of gold hanging from it. And just, you should be the one that shines. And the bag is there to be, the accomplice.
That's so great. The bag is like the complement and not the defining factor. I think that's really, that speaks volumes because I grew up in the handbag age of where your handbag kind of said where you've been, who you are, and where you're going. And I couldn't fit any of those categories because I didn't have the money either. And to be able to have a luxurious handbag and say, you know what, this is who I want to be today. This is who I'm going to step forward and know that I feel confident. That's really at the end of the day what we all want. So I think that's a good point for sure. Is there any other anything that we need to know about the brand when we buy one, when we get it home, when we share with others that maybe we can't figure out if we don't see a presentation of Rebecca Minkoff on QVC.com yet, and we just see the handbags? What's kind of that essence that we can take with us and know this is why I bought this?
So I would say from an aesthetic perspective, I always like to ride that fine line between bohemian and rock. It's hard and soft. It's masculine with a feminine. And you'll see that in, the use of the types of leather, the mix of studs and chain, the exposed zippers. I love a tassel. So those are some of the attributes of the bag that it's a Rebecca Minkoff. And also, a lot of our bags have a signature flap that kind of goes like that. And those are some of the things that denote the bag. But again, I want to really make the woman shine and celebrate her. So everything is very subtle.
Oh, wonderful. Well, this will be my last question for you, but how are you looking to the future? What are you doing right now to stay optimistic or move forward? Or is there something fun that you're working on?
Well, we are going to be launching fragrance in October, which I'm very excited about because you know, in addition to the milestone moments that our bags have, you know, when you have that smell, whether it's, you know, the grass you smelled at summer camp, or, you know, the first boy you kissed and how he smelled, like smell is such a visceral experience, and it can bring back a flood of memories. So I really want to make sure that when you buy our scent, you know, you are helping to create new memories. I'm working on a book. So next summer, get ready.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Love a good book. Okay. Well, how can we follow you in your journey? We can obviously shop Rebecca Minkoff handbags on QVC.com and also on your website as well, but share those social platforms and how we can support.
You can find me on Instagram at Rebecca Minkoff. You can find me on Twitter at Rebecca Minkoff, pretty much at Rebecca Minkoff anywhere. Here I am. And I just want to thank you in advance for having me. And I'm so thrilled to be a part of the QVC family.
Oh, well, welcome on into the family, because once you're here, you can't get rid of us.
Perfect.
Well, thank you so much. We look forward to it. And I hope a lot of our people who are shopping are thinking, yes, we finally have Rebecca Minkoff. So thank you for taking the time, and we appreciate you.
Yeah, of course.
Well, have a good one and enjoy the rest of your week.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.